What's up, everybody? Joe White here, and I got to talk to you today about Bryan Alvarez and how much he is sick of Dave Meltzer's bullshit. That's right, Bryan Alvarez. So Dave Meltzer's on vacation, so Bryan Alvarez was left to his all by his lonesome to do a show, a Wrestling Observer radio show. And he seems to be enjoying himself quite well. He seems that he's a lot freer when he doesn't have to put up with and and a 30-minute soliloquy about the fucking ratings. He does talk about the ratings here. And listen to what he says about these ratings and how Dave loves to talk about them, but we can't really trust it. Listen to this.
Dynamite, however, is not doing well at all for the Go Home show. And keep in mind, this is a combo show. You have 2 hours of Dynamite and 1 hour of Collision. It's from Portland, Maine, and they're at 22.73. And the average for the year is 32.64. So they're like 1,000 tickets below average for the Dynamite show here. And really, I mean, I know Dave loves to talk the ratings. When he returns, he'll talk a lot about the ratings. But to me, I mean, if you want to judge the success or failure of Dynamite, of Raw, of SmackDown, of NXT, of wherever, I mean, I think you've got to look at things like, all right, how many tickets are sold to the event? How many people purchased it if we get pay-per-view? But like since September, when Big Data plus Panel decided to change everything. And I don't know if it's actually a half dozen times, but they have tweaked the formula at least 3 times since September. And every time, they make one tweak, it's great for wrestling. They make another tweak, it's terrible for wrestling. They make another tweak, it's great for people who are over 50 watching wrestling. They make another tweak, now all these shows are dying again. It's like, what can we learn from this? Because we can't actually chart. Like, it was one thing before. Whatever you think of Nielsen, whatever you think about it, the fact is, you could at least, as long as whatever they were doing was consistent, you could track year over year. Okay, well, whatever you think about it, it's, they're doing better this year than they were last year. Well, when you've got Nielsen and they're constantly tweaking the formula, and 1 week the show's doing a 0.14, the next week all of a sudden they do a tweak and it's doing a 0.08. It's like, how can you determine whether anything's doing any good or not? We have no max numbers. The Netflix numbers, God only knows. I mean, the only thing you can look at is how are they doing with actual indicators that we can track. And what we can say is that Dynamite is, this week it is not doing well. Year over year, it seems to be doing fine, looking at the average. And for pay-per-view, I mean, this pay-per-view looks like it's going to do very well. It sold a lot of tickets, and I'm sure it's going to do well on pay-per-view.
So what I gather from that is he's sick and tired of Dave Meltzer's bullshit. These 30-minute soliloquies that the man goes on talking about these ratings week after week after week, when you can't trust any of it because there's no real way that Nielsen tweaks it every other day. And what you need to go by is ticket sales and pay-per-view numbers. Now, it's kind of hard to do that with WWE because they don't have pay-per-view anymore. There's a reason why they don't call them pay-per-views anymore. They call them premium live events. Another thing that he says there that I want to touch on is how they are running Dynamite in Portland, Maine this week. There's a reason why WWE only does house shows up in Maine. I can't remember the last time they ever broadcasted a Raw or a SmackDown from fucking Maine. Because it doesn't draw. And let me tell you why this episode of Dynamite, this Dynamite taping, is not drawing. It's the middle of fucking May in Maine. May, June, July, August are the only 4 months out of the year where Maine does not have snow on the ground. Nobody wants to sit in a Coliseum building and watch wrestling when they could be out fishing or going to the beach or enjoying themselves outside. Me personally, I don't care what the weather is outside. I'm going to go. I mean, I'd go if I was up there. Because hell, it's wrestling. They don't come here that often. You're lucky if you see them once a year. I mean, hell, if you're in Maine, you got to try, and you want to go to a WWE show, you better damn well buy tickets when they're in Boston or New Hampshire. I don't even think they run New Hampshire anymore or Vermont anymore. You're going to Boston. It's not that long of a drive from Maine to Boston. Hell, you can even catch the train, I believe. So Tony Khan, whoever's booking these events for Tony Khan, you're having a huge you're making a huge mistake running your go home show to one of your flagpole to big tent pole events of the year, one of your big four, if you will, and you're doing it in a state where nobody's going to come because nobody wants to sit inside and watch wrestling. They want to go out and fish. They want to go out there and lay on the beach this weekend. It's not a state where you can run the middle of May. You can maybe get by with September or October because it's cold enough to where people will sit in a fucking warm building and watch wrestling. But it's a state where 8 months out of the year there's snow on the ground. I know. I've been there. It's not a fun place to drive in winter. Trust me, especially when you're in an 18-wheeler like I am. However, if you can maybe get by with it in September or October. If they would run full gear up there, or not full gear, you're never going to run a pay-per-view. But if they were to run the go-home show to full gear up there, they might draw. But then again, Maine has never been a real hotbed for wrestling. Except, I mean, they used to run it all the time back when Vincent J. McMahon, Vince Sr., as they say, ran the WWF. Portland was one of his main territories. And that's where Vincent Kennedy McMahon got his start because his dad put him in charge of running Portland, those Portland shows, so that he didn't have to drive from New York to fucking Portland every week. Stick his son up there. And Vince did well in Portland. So, a little bit of a history lesson there. But it's not the 1930s. Apples don't cost a nickel. And, people don't want to sit inside when it's nice and sunny outside. And it's like, again, one of the few months where it's not bad weather. Watching fucking people jam fish hooks in their mouth and lay on needles and all this shit. Anyway, folks, we'll be right back.
Well, Vern, there you have it. Your ashes are all cleaned out. Your 2 logs are stacked in there just right. Your meat is all placed evenly across your rack, starting at the bottom. The big moment has arrived, Vernon, when we fire this up and start cooking all that delicious meat till it's moist and tender and juicy and... I cannot stand how good this is going to taste, Mika. Know what I mean?
Frankie! Lester needs a drink.
All right. I hope you enjoyed that break there. Yeah, Bryan Alvarez seems like he just seems to be having way more fun. That's the only thing I could pull from this week that had any kind of merit to it. I mean, like anything to talk about, because the rest of the stuff was him just going over the Raw show and going over things, and he seemed like he was having a lot of fun doing it, which is what the Wrestling Observer radio show should be. It shouldn't be all doom and gloom and so. But come Wednesday, we'll get the same old boring dreck from Meltzer again. So they they debuted Mason Rook in his debut match last night, I should say. This guy does not impress me in the slightest. I don't like his finishing move. It's going to get somebody hurt. It's going to break somebody's back or break somebody's neck. You know, we saw what a buckle bomb did to Sting. You know, and so now we're doing a full body freaking Death Valley driver into a buckle bomb. It's dangerous for Rook. It's dangerous for anybody who he does it to. Also, there's been, you know, everybody thinks he looks, for lack of a better term, like a lesbian. I mean, that's the thing I've been seeing on the internet. they And then last night, now I had seen clips of him in England doing stuff, so I wasn't surprised. But a lot of people were when they saw this guy in his actual ring gear, and they're like, "Holy shit, he's a mass transit looking version of Bronson Reed. He's got the exact same kind of ring gear as Bronson Reed, that singlet." There's only one big man in history that singlet ever looked, that style of singlet ever looked good on, and that was Andre the Giant. When you put it's like Nia Jackson, her ring gear. It's like you're stuffing 10 pounds of crap in a 5-pound bag. I know. Stupid Mark Joe White. Stupid Mark Joe White. Get your fat ass in there. See if you can do a moonsault. That was one of the comments I saw. Can you do a moonsault? I don't want to. That's just it. And this guy shouldn't be doing them either. Yes, it looks cool to see a fat guy do a flip, but come on. Come on. It's off-putting. This guy's entire gear is off-putting. His promos are off-putting. And then they have him come out later in the show and kick the crap out of his tag partner. I can't even remember the guy's name. People are going to go, well, you're talking about Mason Rook. You remember his name. Yeah, but for all the wrong reasons. For all the wrong reasons. So when you look at this guy and then he comes out there, his promos, man, and then you got people calling him Mason Rook. It's not Rook or Rourke, it's Rook, like the chess piece. ROOK, Rook. So I don't know. This is a failed experiment. And you can argue all you want to and say that wasn't the right way of doing things, but if Vince McMahon were still here, goddamn pal, little chubby around the waist, ain't he? He's got to be 6'10" and lean. We all know that he would never get a shot if Vince McMahon were still around. So I look at it this way, man. It's a failed experiment. Sorry, guys. Distracted here. Oh man, it's just NXT is just. I know they gotta. It's a feeder system, and they gotta take guys out and put new guys in. But this guy should have never been signed. Yes, he could do 15 different variations of a pile driver. Go look that video up. One of them, he drops the guy right on his fucking head. But WWE's never going to allow him to do anything that's made him cool. And that's the problem with indie wrestlers nowadays. If you're content to stay on the indies, do whatever you want to. Or if you're content to go to AEW where they don't care if you break your neck, go ahead and do whatever you want to. Because it's clear now that if you get injured in AEW, they sit you on the shelf until your contract expires and then get rid of you. But when you go to WWE, they actually, you can argue the point, but they actually care about their wrestlers not getting hurt. So they don't let them do stupid shit like fucking flippity flappity floppity flu pile drivers. They don't let them do fucking big guy moonsaults where they may, not rotate and land on their damn head. There's a reason why Vader would only bust a moonsault out on one occasion. Or on occasion. I think he only did it once in WWE. He did it at SummerSlam against Shawn Michaels. But, it boggles my mind what they're doing with this guy. Or that they even signed this guy. Throwing up his stupid little gang signs and all this. Dude, you're a fat fucking white guy from England. You probably never been around a gang a day in your life. I'm sorry. You should be throwing up gang symbols like I should, like my fat white ass should be. I don't. Why? Because I'm fat and white and don't belong in a fucking gang. Anyway, going to take a quick break. When we come back, I'm going to talk about Grand Theft Auto 6. We did not get anything today as of yet. It's only 9 o'clock as I'm recording this. Maybe I'll come back in an hour and let you guys know if Rockstar tweeted anything. They didn't put anything on old Billy today, so who knows? We'll be right back.
Yeah. They like it. Yeah. That's dog talk. Yes. Yes. You know what they're saying. Oh, yeah. Yeah, woo back at you. Right. Hey, Ross. Hey! Son of a bitch. No, wait, no. That's the nicest thing a dog can say about anybody. Yeah.
Welcome back, guys, and we got to talk about something real quick. Two things real quick before we get to GTA 6. There's a fan on Twitter, Mike_Harnett, Harnett, or NTTE, I don't know. He's an idiot. Now, I'll be honest with you guys. I'm no Prince Charming, okay? I am no Prince Charming myself. But this guy has enough nerve to compare Mason Rook to Piper Niven and said that, quote, it's nice to see Piper Niven got a haircut and is back on WWE TV. First off, there's no comparison between the two. Piper Niven is way, way, way better looking than Mason Rook. Fans of this channel know I love me some Piper Niven. Love me some Piper Niven. How dare you, dude? And then this guy has enough nerve to show his face on Twitter. The guy looks like 10 pounds of monkey shit stuffed in a 5-pound bag. He's uglier than I am, and that's saying something, folks. Again, I know I'm no Prince Charming. But we got to stop this shit, man. Why, of all people, Piper Niven? Why do you have to go after Piper Niven? Makes no sense whatsoever. Then we got to talk about Danhausen. Danhausen, they had a town meeting at WWE headquarters earlier this week, I believe Monday. And Danhausen was praised, talking about how his rise to popularity and how he's the #2 merchandise seller in WWE. In fact, if you look at just T-shirts alone, he has 3 of the top 5 best-selling T-shirts in WWE. That's saying something. Also, he was at Madison Square Garden for the Knicks game recently, and the Knicks won. Ever since he uncursed the Knicks have been winning. I'm not a superstitious guy, but that says something right there, man. Anyway, I'm going to take another quick break. When we come back, we're finally going to get to some GTA 6 news. I swear, anybody who goes after Piper Niven deserves their head caved in because she's a beautiful woman. We'll be right back.
Now you listen to me, Aaron. You don't blow your money on the comic books, you understand? They don't do you a damn bit of good. And the nude mags, you're going to be inherited mine when you're 16 anyway. Now look, the junk food and the candy just rots your teeth, gives you bad breath, and the girls run like hell. Stay the hell away from buying any rock TV shirts or hip-hop gear or anything like that. Arcade games, pick out one that you can do, okay? One that you can do as opposed to a whole bunch of them that you don't know what the hell you're doing. Techno music just puts a hole in your brain. Are you listening to me? Look at me when I'm talking to you.
Huh?
Oh, hell. Get out of here. I don't want a pickle.
What the hell?
I just want to ride my motorcycle.
Man, I'm about to put the pressure button with the winner, man.
And I don't want to die.
Dude, I have no idea what
I
you're
just
doing.
want to ride my motorcycle. Come.
G.I. Joe!
All right, we're back. And GTA 6, I wanted to wait until after 10 o'clock. Nothing happened. And then I wanted to wait till after GTA 6 o'clock came out because those guys, that's the podcast to listen to. Yes, they reference Detective Seeds, and yes, they reference TGG. Why they reference TGG, I never know. I don't think TGG has a Best Buy affiliate email like they claim, but who knows? They were talking about the marketing to this and the development cycle, the marketing cycle, the release cycle. I don't know what I call it, the marketing cycle for this game. And Dan Dawkins brings up a point that I've brung up before, but he goes into it a little bit more of a greater detail. I'm going to play a clip from the podcast, and then I'm going to come back and discuss it. Here's Dan Dawkins.
And this campaign, if you even call it that, is not like any other thing Rockstar have done.
No.
Now, there's reasons for that. One is we are 13 years on from the previous game, right? The world has changed. Media has changed. The nature of how you distribute games, etc., promotion has changed. Another big part of this is the people who were making decisions within Rockstar 13 years ago, a lot of them won't be there anymore. I know for a fact the entire PR operation, people I've worked with, we've worked with, they're just not there. The decision making is created by people, right? And people have processes and plans. And when those people leave, someone else steps in and they either inherit those plans or go, we're going to do something new. So a lot of that historical stuff, I think it no longer holds, partly because the world has changed, partly because Rockstar have changed. So
Dan is 100% right. I've been saying it all along. This is not like any other marketing cycle that they've done before. And I did not know that all the PR team that were there during the last game are no longer there. Now, I have to wonder how many have been there since Red Dead Redemption 2. And Red Dead Redemption 2 kind of followed a developmental cycle like Grand Theft Auto did. Sorry, guys, I'm having to flash my lights to let somebody over because they don't know how to get over. Anyway. Oh, man. Going through Lynchburg. I'm heading home. So don't be surprised if the reason why this video is long and contains many breaks, don't be surprised if this is my last video until probably Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. Unless the trailer drops, which it has not dropped yet as of this recording. To the best of my knowledge, no. I have not gotten any alerts from the Rockstar Twitter page. So, anyway, the developmental cycle on this is brand new to everybody. They're not following the conventional formula. Why? Because they don't have to. Now, I will say that when people say, like Dan Dawkins, I didn't record it, but when Dan Dawkins goes on to say, they said the marketing would start in June. They said the marketing was, guys, the marketing has already started. In my opinion, the second they acknowledged the leaks, all the way back in 2022, I think it was, the second they acknowledged those leaks and said, we are excited to share with you the next installment in the Grand Theft Auto franchise, then that was the start of marketing, because that's when everybody was a buzz. Oh God, there is one. There is. It does exist. It does exist. These leaks are real. It does exist. Whether they like it or not, that British guy who leaked all this stuff, who's now sitting in a mental asylum, um, because of hacking charges. Really? I mean, I'm sorry, but that's a bit harsh, Rockstar. Slap the guy with some jail time, but this dude's spending the rest of his life in jail for hacking a video game company. And he didn't cost them any money. If anything, he's made them money because the buzz has gotten unreal. Um, but the second they started acknowledging, yes, it's coming, yes, the leaks are real, 6 months, and then here we go, 2022, they did that, and then 2024, we get the first trailer. So it was, that's the marketing. Trailers are marketing. There's a reason why, movies release trailers. Doomsday, where are you at? So far in advance nowadays, they want you to get that marketing. They want to create that buzz. In my mind, trailers are marketing. Now, have they spent a dime to market this game so far? No. All their trailers are done in-house. They pay the same drone employees who are doing a wonderful job, by the way. They pay them the same. They're all done in-house. It's not like a movie studio where they tell here's a bunch of clips from the film, edit these together to make a trailer, and there's actual trailer companies who produce trailers for movies. It's not like that with Rockstar. They do everything in-house. So to sit there and say that the marketing has not started yet, you're kidding yourself. Marketing has already started. They're going to shift that marketing into high gear, however, once summer hits. There has been a state of play announced for June 2nd. Again, we could see a trailer drop there. I'm going to go ahead and say no, because that's not usually the way Rockstar does their stuff. They don't rely on somebody else to get their stuff out there. Why? They don't have to. And they're sure as hell not going to go beg Jeff Keighley. But the state of play has nothing to do with Jeff Keighley, and we know that they have a marketing agreement with PlayStation, with Sony. So it may not be about when Rockstar wants to do it. It may be about when they can coordinate with Sony and iron a date out with Sony to release the thing. There's many, many factors at work here. Many factors at work here. Like I said, they have not spent one dime with this. I can remember seeing pictures from LA showing skyscrapers with the protagonists from GTA 5 on them. I don't know if they're going to go to that extent with this. They don't have to. That's the whole ever-loving point that these GTA 5 o'clock guys are not bringing up. We're doing the marketing for them. And I think they said that on Twitter, there's only like 75 to 125,000 people talking about GTA 6 at any given time and how that could be bad. It's not bad. They also go on to state that GTA 5 was probably the same way, if not less. And, look how much that game is drawn. Look how much money that game is raked in. And that's not even including the online part. I don't include the online part because I don't play the online part. Plus, Sony pissed off a lot of people by raising the damn prices of the damn the PlayStation Plus prices. So, do I look for a trailer now that the dust is settled? We're not getting anything this week. We're not going to get anything on the weekend. At the earliest, it's going to be June 5th. At the latest, either the week before or the week after. Let me check something here because they're ran by Brits. So they don't celebrate the same holidays we do. July 3rd is on a Friday. What's to stop them from releasing it on July 2nd? Right before America's 250th. release a video game that parodies America by releasing it near America's 250th birthday. That would be ironic, wouldn't it? Nothing really is coming out movie-wise, entertainment-wise around that time. Spider-Man doesn't come out till the end of July, which is crazy because it normally comes out around the 4th. That's usually a big tentpole weekend for them. So I think if it's not during Summer Games Fest, June or July, is the 2 dates, the 2 months that it could go. So I think we just need everybody needs to cool their jets, and they need to say, okay, you know what? It releases when it releases, and boycotting things aren't going to help. Boycotting shit isn't going to help people. What will help is just die down the interest. Just stop talking about it. And that's when Rockstar will release it. Anyway, that's going to do it for me today. I'm going home. I'm going to go on vacation this weekend and chill out and not think about GTA 6. I'm going to chill out with the family, cook some burgers, cook some dogs on the grill tonight, and whatever the life, say la vie. So we'll see you down the road. Have a good weekend, everybody.